In Zen and Buddhist philosophy, the greatest power lies in the ability to perceive reality as it is. Life's intricate tapestry is woven with truth, but also with deception. Those who walk the path of mindfulness are tasked with navigating these complexities, distinguishing light from shadow and sincerity from pretense. A famous Zen saying reminds us, "The eyes are useless if the mind is blind." This teaching underscores the importance of inner awareness, a quality that allows us to see beyond appearances and into the essence of those we encounter. As the journey of life unfolds, we encounter individuals who uplift and inspire, and others who obscure our path with deceit. Recognizing such people requires not only observation but deep understanding, a skill that can save us from harm and guide us toward liberation. Let us embark on a narrative that reveals the 7 signals of bad and fake people, weaving philosophical insight into an engaging story of awakening. In us, the journey of insight. Once there was a humble seeker who sought enlightenment. In us, her master often taught her to look not only with her eyes, but with her soul, for what appears on the surface is seldom the whole truth. One day, the master handed her a simple yet cryptic task: travel the world, meet people, and discern the authentic from the inauthentic. Return with what you have learned. With a bow of reverence, the seeker set off, her heart open but her mind guarded. Signal 1, in us, words and actions misaligned. Early in her journey, the seeker met a merchant who spoke of generosity and virtue. He boasted of the countless people he had helped and the charity he offered to the needy. Yet, as she observed him, she noticed his servants trembling in fear and customers arguing over unfair prices. The seeker remembered the master's teaching. The tongue may utter kindness, but the hands reveal the truth. She confronted the merchant, asking, "If your words are pure in us, why do your actions breed suffering?" The merchant stammered, unable to justify his behavior, and the seeker left, realizing the first signal of insincerity. When words and actions fail to align, deception often lurks. Signal 2A, excessive flattery in the next town. The seeker encountered a scholar renowned for his wisdom. He showered her with compliments, praising her insight and beauty. Yet, his admiration felt excessive, almost rehearsed. That evening, as they dined, the scholar suggested she invest her savings into his project. In us. It was then that she realized his flattery was a baited hook, meant to lower her defenses. She recalled the master's lesson. Beware the one who praises too easily. Their tongue may hold honey, but their heart harbors an agenda. She declined his offer and continued on her path, her eyes sharper than before. Signal 3Z, a pattern of gossip. In a small village, the seeker met a woman who seemed warm and inviting. Over tea, the woman began sharing stories of others in the community, highlighting their flaws and misdeeds. The seeker initially dismissed it as idle chatter. But as the days passed, she realized the woman thrived on gossip. She remembered the Zen teaching. In us, the one who speaks ill of others empties their own cup of virtue. The seeker gently confronted the woman, asking, "If you find fault in everyone, in us, what does it say of your own spirit?" The woman fell silent, unable to answer. The seeker realized that those who spread negativity about others often do so to mask their own insecurities or shortcomings. Signal 4, inconsistency in behavior. As the seeker journeyed further, she befriended a young artist whose charm and humor captivated everyone. Yet, she noticed that his demeanor shifted depending on whom he spoke to. With some he was kind, with others he was dismissive and rude. She pondered the teaching, a tree is known by its fruit, and a person by their consistency. She confronted the artist, asking, "Why does your face change with the wind? Is your true self so uncertain?" The artist shrugged, unwilling to acknowledge his duplicity. The seeker realized that those who wear many masks are often hiding an inner void. Signal 5, reluctance to apologize. One day the seeker crossed paths with a leader respected for his authority. During a meeting, he made a mistake that caused inconvenience to many when others pointed it out. He refused to apologize, instead deflecting blame onto his subordinates. The seeker observed silently, recalling the master's wisdom. An unwillingness to admit fault reveals a fragile ego. She approached the leader, saying, "A true strength lies in humility, not in denial." He dismissed her words, but the seeker saw through his facade. She understood that those who cannot acknowledge their errors often prioritize pride over truth. Signal 6C, exploiting vulnerabilities in her travels. The seeker met a healer who claimed to cure ailments of the heart and mind. People flocked to him, desperate for solace. Yet, as she observed, she noticed his treatments were exorbitantly priced. Preying on the vulnerability of the suffering, the master's teaching echoed in her mind. To exploit another's weakness is to burden your own karma. She confronted the healer, asking, "If your gift is to heal, why do you add to their burden?" The healer avoided her gaze, but his silence spoke volumes. The seeker left resolved to guard her own vulnerabilities and those of others. Signal 7. Resistance to accountability. Near the end of her journey, the seeker met a mentor who guided many disciples. While his teachings were profound, she noticed his inability to accept feedback or criticism. When others pointed out errors, he grew defensive and dismissive. The master's wisdom rang true. The wise see correction as a gift. The fool sees it as an insult. The seeker approached him, asking, "If you claim to guide others in us, why do you resist growth yourself?" He scoffed, unwilling to change. The seeker realized that those who avoid accountability are often unwilling to evolve. After many moons, the seeker returned to her master, her heart brimming with lessons. She shared the 7 signals, and the master smiled, saying, "You have seen not only others, but yourself. For in recognizing the flaws of others, you have strengthened your own wisdom." The seeker bowed, understanding that the journey was not merely about identifying bad and fake people, but about cultivating discernment, compassion, and self-awareness. Reflection on the teachings. As the seeker sat in the presence of her master, she contemplated the depth of her journey. She realized that the teachings were not merely about identifying in others, but about nurturing her own growth. Each signal she had learned served as a mirror, reflecting areas where she too could grow stronger. The master, sensing her thoughts, spoke gently. "The 7 signals you have discovered are not only about avoiding harm, but also about cultivating wisdom within yourself." The journey outward is always a journey inward. Let us reflect on each lesson and its deeper meaning. Words and actions misalign the call for integrity. The seeker thought about the merchant whose words of virtue were betrayed by his deeds. She realized the importance of integrity, the alignment of thought, speech, and action. The master explained, to recognize misalignment in others, you must first examine yourself. Are your own actions consistent with your words? Integrity is the foundation of trust, both with others and within yourself. As the seeker vowed to live with greater mindfulness, ensuring that her actions would always reflect her values too. 2. Excessive flattery. The trap of ego, the scholar's excessive praise, had taught her the danger of falling for flattery. But it also made her reflect. Had there been times when she sought validation from others? The master said, "Flattery feeds the ego, but the ego is never satisfied." True self-worth does not come from the opinions of others, but from the quiet confidence of a clear conscience. From that day on, the seeker practiced humility, valuing genuine connections over hollow praise, gossip, the poison of words. The gossipy woman had shown her how words could harm and divide. The seeker began to reflect on her own speech, fear in us, asking herself if she had ever spoken thoughtlessly or spread negativity. The master reminded her, words are like seeds. What you plant in the minds of others will grow. Choose to plant kindness, understanding, and encouragement. She resolved to speak only with intention, using her words to heal rather than harm. 4. Inconsistency in behavior, the need for authenticity. The artist's shifting demeanor had taught her the importance of being true to oneself. But it also made her question in us. Was she always consistent in her own actions, or did she sometimes wear masks to please others? The master taught, authenticity is not just about how others perceive you, it is about being at peace with yourself. When you are true to your nature, you need no masks. The seeker embraced her imperfections, learning to stand firm in her truth, regardless of others' opinions. 5. Reluctance to apologize, us. The strength in humility, the leader's inability to admit fault, had been a stark reminder of the importance of humility. Reflecting on herself, the seeker wondered if she had ever clung to pride when an apology was due. The master said, to apologize is not to admit weakness, but to show strength. It takes courage to face your own errors and wisdom to learn from them. She promised herself that she would never hesitate to admit when she was wrong, understanding that growth comes through humility. 6. Exploiting vulnerabilities. The power of compassion. The healer's exploitation of the weak had taught her to guard against taking advantage of others. But it also made her reflect on how she treated those in need. Had she ever been indifferent or unkind, the master explained, compassion is the highest virtue. To see another's pain and respond with kindness is the mark of a truly awakened soul. The seeker resolved to act with compassion, using her strength to uplift others rather than seek gain at their expense. 7. Resistance to accountability. So the path of growth, the mentor's defensiveness had shown her the importance of being open to correction. She realized that growth required vulnerability in a willingness to learn. The master reminded her, the wise do not fear criticism, for they see it as an opportunity to refine themselves. Embrace feedback, for it is the chisel that shapes the stone of wisdom. She vowed to welcome accountability, seeing it as a gift rather than a threat, the ultimate teaching. Awareness as liberation. The seeker finally understood that the 7 signals were not just warnings about others, but guideposts for her own evolution. By cultivating awareness, she could protect her peace while also becoming a source of light for others. The master concluded, the true purpose of discernment is not to separate yourself from others, but to deepen your connection with truth. By recognizing insincerity, us, you do not judge. It is compassion that guides you to step aside from harm and, when possible, help others see their own shadows. The seeker bowed deeply, her heart filled with gratitude. She now saw that the journey of recognizing bad and fake people was, at its core, a journey of self-realization, a life of mindful discernment. As she continued her path, the seeker lived with eyes open, not just to the faults of others, but to the beauty and potential within herself. She understood that while the world was filled with both sincerity and deceit, her own clarity and compassion would be her guiding light. In the end, the teachings of Zen and Buddhism had brought her not only wisdom but peace, for she had learned that the ultimate protection is not vigilance alone, but a heart rooted in truth, kindness, and self-awareness. And so, she walked on, her steps steady, her eyes open, and her soul free. Thanks for watching. Hope enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Just click the subscribe button below and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Also, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you'd like to see next. See you in the next video.